Standup Comedy, your host and MC, presents Comedy Appetizers, a podcast where you will find short comedy sets, stories, and funny bits from the famous and not so famous. Here is your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another special Audience of One bonus show. And I got to tell you, I've got some terrific connections, and I've been able to get on the phone. He's waiting for me right now. President Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him to the podcast. President Joe Biden. Mr. President, I'm just so excited you found time in your busy schedule to share a few minutes with my podcast audience. How are you feeling today?
Hey, Steve.
Scott. It's actually Scott, but thank you.
Hey, Scott. First of all, I'd like to say thanks for having me on your Facebook. Was this Facebook Live?
Well, it's a podcast, sir. This is called an Audience of One. There's literally hundreds of people listening.
Oh, that's great. Well, hey, folks, I'm Joe Biden, and I'm running for governor of Delaware.
I don't mean to interrupt President Biden, but actually right now you're president of the United States.
Who? Come on, man. Give me a break. Just ate some corn pops with ice cream.
Well, President Biden, things have been tough in the country. We've got a little issue with inflation, but I'm sure you have a plan to deal with that.
Well, you know, the cost of everything is going down right now, and my goal as president is to try to increase the price of gasoline above $6 a gallon, so we can help everyday Americans.
Well, I guess I have to say congratulations. I'm in California, President Biden. We're already looking at $7 a gallon, so I guess in some sort of weird way, you've been a success.
I appreciate that, and I'm going to consult with my wife, Kamala Harris, and see what we can do.
Well, I only one last thing. I know your time's precious. There was the story you used to tell about being in a public pool and kids playing with your leg hair. That sounds a little weird, President. Is that a true story?
Come on, man. Give me a break. You know, the kid was scratching on my legs, and he felt the hair on my legs, and the hairy legs smelled like corn, and that's why they called me Corn Pop. And then I started eating ice cream on the Amtrak train.
Okay. Well, thank you for addressing that rumor. Well, President Biden, I know you're a busy man. Any final words for our audience today?
My final words are we have to build back fatter. And the way we do that is by eating more pancakes.
Okay. Well, it sounds like terrific advice. Well, thank you, President Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, President Biden brought to us by none other than comic impressionist Josh Rosen out of Florida. He is a terrific comic working all over the East Coast. If you get a chance, check him out on social media, Twitter at Josh Impressions. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us for another special bonus show, an Audience of One.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Comedy Appetizers. Be sure to share with family and friends, and we will see you this Sunday for our regular podcast, your host and MC, and again next Friday for another episode of Comedy Appetizers. Bye!